Think we should be good, bro.
Yes, sir. You see it on TikTok?
Let me see.
Let me see.
Hey,
Oh yeah, we live. But it just says on the it just says the thing is not stable.
it says troubleshoot.
Damn, bro, why this shit look like that though?
Yeah, all it says is troubleshoot.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just kind of slow.
But on,
Okay, change
it's,
my mind.
it's
Okay.
good.
They can hear us though.
Yep.
Just change the screen. Hold on, hold on.
Yo.
Se fue Dani. Se fue Dani. Nah. Así mismo. Chapi, ¿cómo está?
What's up, Brody? Just trying
Tranquilo,
to figure out how to
tranquilo.
get live on TikTok right.
Traffic here on the way home.
Diablo.
Hold on 1 second. Let's end this shit real quick.
Which one do you end, Jake?
Oh man. All right, boys. We can start rocking. I'm just figuring this shit out on my end. We can start going if y'all want.
You can?
I will figure this shit out. What's up, Maddie?
It's good, gang.
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right, all right. We start off like this.
Let's do this. We live.
Fire, fire. You guys can hear me?
Yep.
How about you, Jay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. You
All
good?
right. So today we have a lot to talk about. Feels like a lot of things happened at once in sports. Last week we had a little gist of what's to come, and then the week before that, it feels like we were just playing around, finding things to talk about. But now it just feels like there's just so much. So might as well start with everyone's
Let's not.
sport that we'd like to talk about, football. Here on the screen, I've presented a trade that everyone knows that couldn't be processed because someone wanted to fail their physical. But I'll leave that till after. What do you guys feel about the free agents frenzy that just happened right now? And who do you think is the biggest three winners and losers? I'll start with Se puede ni Lesnar.
Look, guys, this free agency so far has been a little
Yeah,
wild.
man.
Obviously, the
Drop some
Max
numbers.
Crosby deal's a little bit crazy and everything that went down with that. But there are winners, guys. There are definitely winners and there are losers, J Rod. I'm going to start off with the biggest winner in free agency, and that is none other than everybody's All American Matthew Stafford and those Los Angeles Rams, guys. It doesn't get better than what the Rams have done this offseason so far. They traded for Trent McDuffie. They signed Jalen Watson. They re signed Cam Curl. They stole the Chiefs' two best corners, two Pro Bowl caliber corners, two areas of need. They said, let's go out there, let's spend the money, F them picks, let's go out there and do it. That's number one, guys. Number two, guys, the New England Patriots. They replaced Stephon Diggs with Romeo Dobbs, who's a much younger version. Obviously, he has the potential to really break out now in New England. He had a lot of competition in Green Bay. Let's see what he can be over there now in New England. They signed Elijah Vera Tucker to help that offensive line. That's going to be a big boost for them. The question with him is obviously, can he remain healthy? But when he is on the field, he's a great player. They signed Kevin Byard, who was NFL's interception leader last year. They did a lot of good things. And number three, guys, little sleeper pick here, the Tennessee Titans, guys. The Tennessee Titans, guys. I really like what they did. Now that they got Robert Sala over there, they got J Rod's guy, Brian Dable, as their offensive coordinator. And they brought in guys who are familiar with their systems. They traded for Jermaine Johnson from the Jets. They signed John Franklin Myers. They signed Wandale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, J Rod, as you know. They believe in Cam Ward. They went out and they got pieces that are going to help him develop. And I love what they've done so far.
How about you, Jay?
All right. So LA is crazy. I did have them in my top three. Number one, I'm actually going to say the Las Vegas Raiders. Actually, I don't know if you noticed, but they made some pretty big moves, and getting Matt Crosby back to buy into the Raiders is a huge plus for them. So I think the Las Vegas Raiders are in the prime position to make a push. They're gonna get Mendoza, first round draft pick. I know he might not take the world by storm in the first year, but seeing what they're building for the future, it looks pretty good. The second team, since you want to pick your LA Rams, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick my New York Giants. Not to mention we have the head coach already. Got our tight end. Okay. We got Malik Neighbors coming back. Our QB is gonna get better. We got our running back coming back. I'm happy. I'm excited for this year for the New York Giants. I think they're a winner of the all season. And the third one I picked, which is probably gonna surprise you guys, but I figure I'll mention them because I don't think you guys will. I think the Baltimore Ravens kind of pretty lucked out this year, this so far. I mean, okay. Trey Hendrickson is not as good as Max Crosby. Let's get that out of there. He's not in the same class. But is he really that much worse than him? Like if Max Crosby's up here, Hendrickson is right there. We gave 2-round draft picks back. We still have Lamar. I know that head coach is kind of, iffy, but I think the fact that they were able to engage the Las Vegas Raiders and get their first round draft picks back and get the edge rusher they needed, I think the Ravens kind of lucked out here in this offseason. Now, you know, we'll see how the head coach is. That's a little bit of a question mark. And I heard there's a little contract negotiation going with Lamar right now that he might not be happy. But I trust the Ravens and that GM, and I think they lucked out with this in the free agency so far.
Well said, guys. I'm gonna have to agree with all of your guys' teams except the Ravens. I didn't really feel that way with the Ravens. I think that losing their big man and that center from his name is Tyler Lindenbaum. I think that kind of hurts him. But of course, for as much as we talk about free agency, it's also very important that one bad free agency doesn't really determine your offseason. It can also be determined by how good you draft. So we'll have to see with that. Um, but from the teams that you guys didn't mention, I think that the team that also like won was the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that signing the Super Bowl MVP is pretty good. I'm not saying it's necessarily the biggest thing, but if I really look at it, it's I don't see them lose. I don't see how they have lost the offseason, but I really like signing them because as much as I don't like Mahomes, we all know that he was probably their best. He was their best runner, which was
Yeah,
sad. And
yeah.
signing a Super Bowl MVP in a running back, it's pretty good. Let's just say that. And you know what? I'll give Matthew some credit because I feel like no one ever talks about them. But I think the Jets had a solid little signings that I liked.
You know what, Raf? I kind of have come around to that thinking, that way of thinking, J Rod. I'm
Gino,
liking what.
Gino's
Wait a
gonna.
minute. I like what they've done. It's a culture building off season for the Jets. That's what this is. This is let's try and get some wins. Let's try. Wait a minute. Go
Did you
ahead. Go
just say
ahead. Go ahead.
culture building and New York Jets in the same sentence, Brody?
Well, it has to start from somewhere, J Rod. It has to start from
I
somewhere.
agree.
Salah tried and it worked for a little until Rodgers came and messed it all up. Now they have to do it again with Aaron Glenn, and everybody wanted him fired. They got some guys, some defensive guys there. They re-signed. They signed Demario Davis, played under Rex Ryan. Like that's a culture building thing, and they bring back Gino. I mean, we'll see
So
what happens.
So I will say that I was looking at the losers and I went to the Jets to see their free agency moves and I was like, yeah, I'm not putting them on the list because they actually didn't make anything to get worse. But don't you, like, you're the Jets fan, so I'll defer to you on this. Don't you feel like it's kind of a step backwards going to Gino? Like I hope it works out, but like, don't you feel like you're kind of, I don't know, trying to like bring something back to life that's kind of already
It's not
passe?
even. It's not necessarily that because Gino was 10 years ago. Like Aaron Glenn wasn't even coaching. This is a whole different. This is just trying to have some culture building, get some wins, just get a good vibe in the locker room, as opposed to you go and let's say you would have signed a Kyler Murray or two or something, an experiment that everybody's just talking about right away. Like Gino, it's like you know what you're gonna get, whether he's mid or whatever. Like it's just let's try and build a culture here. So I like
No,
that.
I definitely agree with Matt. We all know that Jets are not gonna make the playoffs. Let's just get that out the way. That division is just getting harder and harder. But if what you could do necessarily, because obviously it was a terrible last season for the Jets, but if you can try to build something from the ground up, you bring guys like Gino, because we all know that if you look at the quarterbacks in this draft, you know, it's one, it's one. So if you were to draft a quarterback, what does that really do to your team? I feel like it would. Me personally, I think it would be wasting a pick that you could be using elsewhere. You bring a guy like Gino, and I'm not gonna say that he's good. I'm not gonna say he's bad, but he's in that mid tier. He can win you some games, and obviously it can change. Um, it can change how free agents, how other people look in your previous. I mean, sorry, your next off season. And I just feel like for the Jets, it's all about changing the culture because we all know that there was a time that we were all excited for the Jets. They had Jermaine Johnson, they had Sauce. Um, Quinn Williams, and we thought that something good was going to happen, but of course it just didn't work out. But that's fine. It's stuff that if it doesn't work there, maybe it kind of reminds me of my Mets. Like if that core didn't work, you have to move on. You have to try something new, and obviously there's many bridge years that's going to happen, and this is another bridge year for the Jets. But listen, I just feel like there's just a new era coming to the NFL, and I'm not saying necessarily it's here for the Jets, but it's all about stepping stones, and I'm just trying to be positive because you know the NFL is pretty wide open. Sam Darnold won a championship. Sam Darnold won a championship. The NFL is wide open. Trust me.
But that's my point, right? Like my big okay, it kind of helps that Gino had an ass year last year with Las Vegas. But my biggest concern is like imagine he comes back with the Jets and
Yeah.
he plays just as bad as he did when he was with the Jets the first time. Like it's gonna then put this picture like, oh, it's the Jets. The Jets are the problem. Sam Darnold went and won a Super Bowl. Gino had a good season in Seattle. Now, also, it could also be a Seattle thing. It could be that Seattle just has a great head coach and a great offense, and Seattle worked out. But Sam Darnold also did it in Minnesota too. I just feel like bringing somebody from the past, if it doesn't work out, it's gonna leave such a bad taste. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? We're just running in
No,
circles.
because look, I don't. Jets fans don't. We're not with the expectation that Gino is gonna do anything. This isn't like we know what we're gonna get with Gino, whether it's good or bad or just in between. If he gets us 5 wins, 1 win, 7 wins, like that's just what you're gonna
But
get with him. There's not really
then
an
why not try
expectation
Tua
because then
or Kyler
that
Murray?
just creates a whole nother like it's just an experiment like with a guy
That's
that
an
like
expensive experiment.
there's nothing there. Less expensive what? The Gino was
How much
traded
paid
for
Gino?
a seventh rounder. We're paying
How
him
much
the
paid
veteran
Gino?
minimum. The Raiders are paying all his salary.
Okay, okay,
We're signing for the veteran minimum.
okay.
Like
Was that
it's
10 mil?
it yeah, something like that.
Tua got signed for a mil.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter.
To the
Like it's
point,
an
it doesn't
exper
matter. So
but
why
with
not get the less?
Tua because with Tua or Kyler Murray, like you're there there's a certain level of guys that you gotta have on offense for that to work. Like the Jets have nothing right now. You gotta start
I guess.
somewhere. Just go
Yeah, You're
sign some
not
So,
guys,
you're not a
build a
you're not a
culture.
Tua and Kyler Murray away from
Exactly.
something.
so Gino is basically like he's just the face right now while y'all do all the
He's a
reconstruction.
bridge quarterback. He's a bridge core. He's just there. There's
Huh?
nobody to draft right now, like Raf said.
Huh? Yeah, I can see that. That's fine. All right. So what about the losers?
Mm.
Yeah, the losers. Rav, you mentioned the Chiefs as winners, though. I have them as losers. I have them as losers because, yeah, they got Kenneth Walker, and that helps. But like I said with the Rams, they lost 3 of their 4 players, 2 of them to the Rams in McDuffie and Watson. They lost what's this guy's name? Their safety. What's forgetting his name right now. They lost their safety as well. They lost Garner Minshew, who I know he's a backup, but if Mahomes doesn't come back, right away, somebody's got to be their backup, and they don't have one right now. So we'll see. But on offense, sure they'll be fine, and if Mahomes can come back, that's great. But on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think it looks good.
Uh,
I also
no,
oh go ahead.
no, you're doing three, right? You're doing three. Go ahead.
Yeah. I also have the Colts, J Rod, your Colts as losers. Re-signing Daniel Jones. This is the largest 2-year deal in NFL history for a guy coming off this massive injury. I'm just not sure that's the move. They re-signed Alec Pierce to this massive deal too. They traded Michael Pittman away. I don't think that these were good moves for them at all. I think they'll be in a rebuild in 2 years times. And my last team, guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
They lost Travis Etienne. They lost Devin Lloyd. They lost Greg Newsome to the Giants. They didn't really add anyone. And for a team that came off, 13, 14 wins they had last year, to make no moves noteworthy, I think that's a big miss for them.
How about you, Jay?
Yeah. For me, I had the Colts. I had the Colts as one of them too. Yeah, Daniel Jones being signed for a 2-year contract after coming off an injury. Good luck with that, Colts. Have fun. I don't know how Daniel Jones got two big paydays from two different teams. Ultimate finesser, the new Kirk Cousins. Um, so I kind of figured somebody would do the Colts as well. So I kind of wrote a backup. So I have Atlanta,
Nice.
picking up Tua, thinking that he's gonna change that offense. I don't know. I've never been a Tua guy. I've never been a Tua fan, and I feel like Atlanta has the pieces there to make a real run for a championship. And I feel like when you pick up a guy like Tua, you're kind of banking your future on a guy who kind of still is. I don't want to say unproven because he's shown that he can ball, but he's just not. Come on, we gotta call it like we see it, bro. He's not a healthy player. He can't stay healthy, and he gets knocked around. I feel like Atlanta is almost basing their future on him, and I think that's a bad call. So that was my replacement for the Colts. I have your Bengals. Terrible offseason for them. Not only for what they did not do and for now who they lost, but how their division is getting incredibly better every day that passes. Okay,
Yeah.
the Bengals just their window keeps closing, and I don't see any moves that they make to extend it. And I feel like Joe Burrow is gonna get to a point of frustration where he's not going to sign with them again, and we're gonna be talking about the biggest free agent movement since what? In quarterback, talking about quarterbacks. I can't remember the last big free agent. Maybe Aaron Rodgers, if you want to count that. You know what I mean?
Tom Brady, you know.
Or Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady's a good one. And then my third one, I don't really consider them as a loss for their season. It's more of a culture thing. Tampa losing Mike Evans, bro. I thought Mike Evans would be a one helmet guy. I thought Mike Evans would be in Tampa for life. I thought he would retire. You know, um, he's a great player. He's on the older side, so I can understand not wanting to give him the bag and keep him in Tampa. And I think it's a great move for the 49ers. Give Brock Purdy another big target in the end zone. But Tampa Bay has receivers. Like they have great receivers, but it's just one of those like things, man. He was the first draft pick from the Tampa Bay manager. I mean the GM that he drafted, and now he's like gonna be on another team. So it's gonna be weird seeing that. But I think it's a huge loss culturally for Tampa.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you guys. That was pretty much the same for me. I had Bucks, I had Jags, I had even the Eagles because they haven't figured out the AJ Brown situation. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think running back the same team really is like that good for them. I also have the Chargers. For some reason, I have the Chargers. I know they're getting back Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater back, but their interior line it's like really really bad, and you're kind of banking off again just running it back, and I feel like so many teams are just running it back, and it's just like what are you really doing? What do you have to expect? So those would be my takes. But okay, guys, what do you guys think about that man that we see in our screen right now, and that whole dilemma of him failing his physical, and then Ravens respond by signing Mr. Trey Hendrickson? I'll start with you, Jay.
Um, Listen, man, I don't see how you can look at this and not think something shady was going on. Honestly, um, it was the timing of it, of the fact that he failed the physical. What was it? Monday, he failed it, and Tuesday Henderson was signed. Like literally the next day, 3-year contract. It was broken news. Um, I think that I think the pressure from the outside got to the Ravens management, and I think they were looking for a reason not to let this deal go through. And once this came to their play, because that he was not going to pass that physical. He's coming off injury. When you made this deal that he's probably going to fail the first physical you give him. They found the loophole. They got their first round picks. And again, I think it kind of worked out for the Ravens in the long run because I think that, at least for me, I think 2 first rounds was a steep price for a 29-year-old edge rusher who's coming off injury. So they kind of lucked out, but I don't like the way it was made. I don't like the precedent that it sends to the rest of the league. That you can make these deals, you can have these meetings, and everything can go perfectly fine, and then at the buzzer when you have to have this physical, you're just gonna fail them because you're not thinking about the deal anymore, and you want to take it back. So Max Crosby seems happy to be back with the Raiders. Look, he didn't want to leave in the first place, so now that he's back again, the Raiders have gotten way better. So I think that having them, having him there makes him happy, but it definitely is not right. And I hope this doesn't set a new idea in the league.
Yeah, I was shocked by this when I first heard it, but like you said, J. Rod, I think the Ravens lucked out. They lucked out with this. I think they massively overpaid for Crosby, like you said, coming off a serious knee injury. They were gonna give up the 14th pick. It's not like it was a late round first pick. No, this was the 14th pick in the draft. Like that's a value pick. I don't think that was gonna be a good move for them. And like you said before, I think Henderson is just a tick below. He's just as good of a pass rusher. I know Max Crosby's a better run defender, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I think this works out better for the Ravens in the long run. As for the Raiders, though, I mean, it sucks for them. They were going to have the first and 14th picks in this year's draft, right? They got Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens draft, like you mentioned before. They made moves on defense. I mean, we'll see what happens now, but I don't know if Crosby gets moved now. I don't think he gets moved before the draft. So I'm not sure where the Raiders go from here, but for the Ravens, I think they definitely lucked out with this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But it's just like it just leaves a sour taste. It should leave a sour taste for everyone because how does Crosby move from now? Like now you know the team traded you, so it's like how should you feel about it? Like do you still go your hardest, or you just have to, or do you have the mentality of let me just stay healthy in case they do try to trade me? So it's just like very odd, I'll say.
Yeah,
But
it definitely doesn't smell right. It definitely it kind of like goes against like the moral of the trade, like the kind of understanding of it.
yeah.
But hey, this is where we're at.
All right, guys, that's our first.
First topic
First
in the NFL.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the second topic. Here we go.
Yes.
All right. So NBA playoffs, guys, right around the corner. I see your guys' team on my screen. So now we're gonna have some fun. I need you guys to mention and talk about who do you think is the 6 to 7 best contenders to win the championship this year. You guys can put them in rankings if you guys want. I'm gonna put it based off just 6 teams I have in general, but I'm not gonna do the rankings necessarily.
Yeah, I didn't do
You know what?
ranking either. I didn't do
You
ranking.
know what? You know what? Let's test our ball knowledge. Actually, let's get fun in here. Let's put them in rankings. Let's put them in rankings.
Rank?
Okay.
Put them in rankings.
Alright.
I'll go first. Let
But
the host go first real
Alright.
quick. All right. My first team. I don't know if you guys will agree. My first team is the San Antonio Spurs.
are you saying like they're the number one? They're the number one team?
Number one best contender, I would say.
Okay. Okay.
Why? Guys, everyone's thinking Thunder gonna repeat. Thunder gonna repeat. But one thing that we've noticed and we learned about this season, that there's a certain team that has their number.
No, you're right.
San Antonio. I don't know how long this is stats. I mean, these stats have been recorded for, but I'll say like the last 2 months have had the best defense in the league, with a top 10 offense in the league. I think that they're meshing really well, and I think that this overall they're going to be able to stop Thunder because Thunder have been free falling ever since. Not free falling, but because they have 50 wins. Let me not say free falling. They have 50 wins. But if there's a team that has their number, I would say it's the Spurs. My second team will be Thunder. Third team is the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Fourth team, Denver Nuggets. Fifth team is that team that plays in the Garden and not TD. And the sixth team, you know what? No, I don't have respect for the Pistons. Sorry, I don't have respect for the Pistons.
That's crazy.
No respect. I would say the Cavs. I like Cavs. I like Cavs with Harden only because Harden is gonna take a secondary role to Mitchell, and I think Mitchell. This is they traded Garland, and Mitchell being the top guy, the top scorer that he is, it can really, I think that he can really open some eyes in this playoff run. And for 7, outside looking in, man, outside looking in. You know what? I'll give respect to Matt's guy, Ant. I'll give respect to his guy.
Wow. So I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go from 6 to 1. So at 6, I don't need the 6. I'm gonna do Detroit. Number 1 seed, Cade Cunningham being the best player on the team. They got this hunger, young. They kind of remind me of the OKC from last year. One good player, a lot of like role players around them. Number 1 seed, young, don't know any better. They don't know what. I mean, they failed in the first playoffs against the Knicks, but like, they learn from that. They adapt. So you got to give credit to the number 1 seed. At number 5, I have the New York Knicks. And honestly, Matt, it's based off of we need to do this. Like, we need to. Like, it's not even failure is not an option. Getting rid of Tibbs, bringing in Mike Brown, having these players in the position should come back with a championship, especially with all the injuries in the East. We just blew a golden opportunity. We have a chance to not blow it. So let's lock in and let's make sure we make it to the finals, all right? At 4, I have the Denver Nuggets. Simple Joker. He's going nuclear in the stat sheets, as he always does every year. Anytime you have him on your team, you have a chance to win the championship. OKC, got to respect the chance at number 3. Shea, Chet, again, they won the chip last year, number 1 seed in the West. I know the Spurs are there, and that's the only team they have to worry about. But what if the Spurs don't make it to the championship game? What if they
You
get
have OKC. You got OKC at 3.
I got OKC at 3. Yeah.
I love when they lose respect.
Yeah.
I love when they lose respect.
I got
Yes.
OKC at 3. At 2, I have Boston. I have Boston at number 2, just because they're a well-coached team. They're champions. They have a championship mindset, and they're getting their either best or second best player back in stride. He's gonna be locked in and ready to go for the playoffs. That's scary in the East. And number 1, I gotta agree with you, Raph. I got the Spurs. Second seed right now, Wemby, going crazy again. Very, very good coached. If they can get past everybody else in the playoffs, I think when they face OKC in the Western Conference Championship, I think they will best them. At least right now, that's what I believe in the NBA season. So I got Spurs number 1.
Here we go.
Just a bunch of disrespect, guys. A bunch of disrespect.
A bunch of ball knowers. A bunch of ball knowers. Yeah, that's what it
Bunch of
is.
disrespect to the reigning, defending NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, guys. Look, the Thunder have been doing this all season long with a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries they've had. A lot of games missed. Shea's missed games. J-Dub's missed games. They've had guys miss games all year long, and yet they're still the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
I mean,
I
that's
get your
because
point, Raf. I get your point. Because they have a good team. They have a good team and a good system. They have a bunch of guys who maybe on any other team would not be able to do it, but on this team it works. That's number 1.
Real quick, before we go number 2, Matt. Are you more confident in this OKC team than you are last year?
He's not. He's not. They were so much better last year.
No, I think I am because I don't think we seriously didn't believe, despite what we saw from the Thunder in the regular season. Did we seriously believe come playoff time, because it was the first time that they were going to be doing this? Did we believe that they would go all the way and win it all?
I had them. I had them.
You
Yeah.
had them winning the championship.
Yes. Correct.
I
Yeah.
don't. I didn't have them in the championship, but I would say that that's my kind of point I'm kind of make. They were more dominant last year than this year, and it's
This
like
year they got more experience. They went and they won the championship. What's stopping them from doing it again? And I get your point, Raph. The Spurs have beat them what, 4 times this season,
Yes.
right?
remember
I mean, so they have their number.
they weren't dominant in the championship game either. Remember, it went to Game 7, and the only and Halliburton was on
You're right.
fire.
If Halliburton, I get it, but we can't change that. They
I know.
won, and we got to respect that. We got to respect them.
All right,
So
go ahead.
until proven otherwise, I'm gonna say Thunder is number one. At number two, guys, the Boston Celtics. The Celtics have done it. JT is back. They're gonna be rolling now with JB and JT. I expect big things from the Celtics. They're my favorites coming out of the Eastern Conference. At number three, the San Antonio Spurs. For all the reasons Raf mentioned, they're young, they're hungry, they beat the Thunder all these times. They're a great team, but do they have the experience, Rav? Do they have the experience? That's the difference for me that separates it right now from the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're my number three. At number four is the Detroit Pistons. Raf, I know you don't have a lot of respect for the Detroit Pistons. It really is just Cade and them boys, because it's Cade is doing all the scoring for them, but they have a great defense. And they've beaten the Knicks a handful of times this season already. And I know the Knicks beat them last year in the playoffs, but I gotta go what I'm seeing this year. Pistons are my number four. At number five is those New York Knicks, J Rod. Honestly, the Knicks should be out of my list
Sure,
because
I
the
agree.
Knicks.
I agree.
I just they make it look good some days, and then other days you're like, what the fuck? They just lost to the Lakers and the Clippers in pathetic fashion. They had to come back down 20 last night to the Jazz. It's just things that should not happen.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just concerned with Mike Brown there in his first year, but we'll see what happens. And at number six is Ant Man and the Minnesota Timberwolves, because every year it seems like, well, they're kind of out of it. Nobody really expects them to do big things. They're in that 4, 5, 6 range. And then come playoff time, they surprise a few people. And Ant plays well, and the team plays well, and they surprise a few people. I expect them to do the same these playoffs.
Okay.
Like we finished the same. I didn't have Minnesota. Raph didn't have Detroit, but pretty much all lockstep with the same teams.
All right, guys. Since we talked about the favorites of contending teams, let's talk about the favorites of MVP candidates. And for this segment, I want not four. So I needed you guys to come up with the top three. And I don't want, yeah, when you get to number three, I don't want, yeah, I can see this guy. No, I need a direct three. So I want to start off with Mr. Final Verdict, Jay. Give me your top three.
All right, so at number 3, I'm gonna go Kate Cunningham. Um, Again, number 1 seed on the East. Uh, Basically the star of Detroit right now. And when you are the star player and the only star player on your team, and you have your team in the number 1 spot, I think you deserve at least a shout out in the MVP candidacy. The reason he's number 3, he just doesn't have the numbers. He's 17. He's 12th in points. He doesn't even crack the top 10, the top 5 in assists, the top 5 in rebounds, and the other 2 players I'm going to mention have incredible stats. At number 2, I'm gonna put Shea. Again, number 1 seed in the West, second in points, killing it. I know he's missed a couple games. I don't think he would even make it enough games to make the MVP. I'm not sure about that. But if that wasn't there, I'd probably have my second MVP. And at number 1, and again, I don't know if he qualifies because I don't know if he's gonna make the amount of games, but I have the Joker, guys. Do you see what this man is doing in the stat sheets, bro? He is fifth in points, first in assists, and first in rebounds, bro. Like, like, and it's like nobody's even like discussing this man because it's like a regular basis with him. He's
Fatigue.
he's literally dominating this league statistically, and because he doesn't have the right, just because he doesn't have the team in the right position on the West, he's not being talked about, and I think that's wrong. I think the best player in the world should get the MVP, especially when they're having a fantastic season. It's not like he's dogged it in points and having just assists and rebounds. He's fifth in points. Like he's scoring, he's distributing, and he's getting boards. If you want to come at me with his defense, I got you. I can't argue that, but I think he's so important offensively that his defense can be garbage and he still will be an improvement and importance to your team. So I got Joker 1, Shea 2, K Cunningham 3.
Okay, Jay, I thought we were gonna have the same list until you switched up there. At number 3, I have Cade Cunningham. For all the reasons you mentioned, J Rod, number 1 in the West. He's doing it by himself there on the scoring end. It's impressive what the Pistons have done this season. He's at my number 3. And number 2, guys, I have Wemby. I have Victor Wembanyama as my number 2. He's had a phenomenal season. The Spurs have had a great season. They're number 2 in the West. But number 1, J Rod, is not Nikola Jokic. It is Shea Gilgeous Alexander. That is my number 1. And I honestly think this comes down to, guys, who's going to get the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I think that's going to be a big factor as to who gets the MVP award. But what Shea has been doing is incredible. Guys, Shea tonight has a chance to surpass Wilt Chamberlain's record of 20-point games in a row. 127 if he gets it tonight against the Celtics. That's just incredible. That's incredible. Shea's been phenomenal all season. I have Shea as my number 1.
Nice.
Right, Raph?
Um, Number 3, I gotta give it a Cade. Um, Definitely a great player, great system that he's in. He's the man in Detroit. That team. He's his team's motor. Whatever success happens is through him. Gotta give all the respect to the world for him. It just sucks that there's just probably 4 guys better than him, maybe 3, but I put him at 3. I put him at 3. Um, 2, I'm gonna go Yoke. Yoke, gotta give him respect to Yoke because it's inevitable. But the thing is with Yoke, I think that last year statistically he was better than this year, and I can't put him at number 1 because number 1 is the Canadian freak, Mr. Shea Gilgeous Alexander, for sure. Like Matthew said, he's almost guaranteed to pass Wilt in that record, and he's gonna pass it by a long shot. But guys, if it wasn't for injuries and if it wasn't for time missed, number 3 on my list will be Kawhi Leonard, bro. Kawhi Leonard will be on my number 3 right now if it wasn't for injuries. Even over Cade, bro. The turnaround the Clippers have made, bro, and it's oh my god, every game.
I get it, but are they probably going to finish 8th in the
No, I'm
West?
saying like let's say from the start he didn't fit. He never like missed games. I think that he would have been number 3 on my list. But I'm not talking about it right now. Right now, I'll put him like at 5 or 6.
I have a question for both of y'all. Who has the better supporting cast right now, Shea or Yoke?
Shea.
Shea.
Gordon's out. Jamal Murray's missed time too.
Yeah, Shea.
So the only thing that Shea does better than him statistically is score. That's it. That's all he does better than him is score. He's a better rebounder. He's a better passer than him. And the way Raph is like, I think Yoke had better numbers last year, so that's why I'm not giving it to him this year, is ludicrous. I'm not talking about last year. We're talking about how does he compare this season to everybody else. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that he's by himself. He has the Nuggets in the 5th spot right now. And he's leading the league. And I thought Raph be all over this because he's a LeBron guy. He's leading the league. I'm not saying he's leading the league as a center. He's leading the league across all positions in assists and rebounding. We're talking about having a freak athlete who can't jump 2 feet in the air.
No, I would
So I'm
always
gonna give
pick
him to lead.
Jokic. I would always pick Jokic over Shea. No doubt about it. I'm taking Jokic over Shea every single time. But it's just like the fatigue that now that these numbers that you're mentioning, Jay, I've been like, oh yeah, this is just a normal Jokic game that the
But
voters are gonna be like,
but didn't that piss you off with LeBron? Like didn't that
oh,
boil your blood with
absolutely,
LeBron? So
absolutely. And when we
why
have a discussion about Michael Jordan, and LeBron again, I'm gonna be saying the same thing over again.
and that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's whack, bro, because it's like Jordan got his 6 MVPs, no problem. Or sorry, 5 MVPs, right? Jordan got 5 or 6. I believe he has
6,
5.
no?
I believe that he has 6. No problem. LeBron only got 4, even though he should have had like 7 or 8. Okay, why are we punishing these players on greatness when they are like we can't compare them to their past though. If we compare them to this year, I understand Yoke being a 4-time MVP is kind of crazy, but like yo, he's proven it, bro. Like he's doing the work, and I feel like he just gets not the credit because he's so great. And now Shea might get his second MVP, even though he didn't. Even though there was kind of an asterisk last year, now it's this year again that he's gonna get it. Like I don't know, like and then we're gonna get tired of Shea, and then who's gonna be the next person we get tired of? Like it should be who's the best player, who had the best season, boom MVP.
And this is the thing that Matthew doesn't want to talk about, but we could be saying the same thing about Otani and Judge this year. Are the voters going to be fatigued? This is what the second year in a row that Otani and Judge had a back-to-back MVP, and I'm not saying there's any players better than them, but Matthew, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
but I think baseball's a little bit different because
Baseball's all
like
about the
win.
money.
I think yeah, it like you're
I think it's
winning.
closer. I
How
think it's
much you
closer than we
win
think.
in baseball doesn't really matter. The Angels sucked and Mike Trout won MVP. Like it was. It's a little bit different. Like in basketball, the wins matter. You can't be the eighth seed, the fifth, the sixth seed,
Sure.
and I don't. You know.
And I got you on that part, but it's like, and if like the supporting cast was kind of like equal, but OKC's way.
Yeah, but
Shea
they've
had
had
way
they've
better
had
season.
injuries too. Yeah, but the Nuggets have just been just so like I think they struggled their last few games. Like they've been on a slide here, and I know Jokic played well, but you got to be able to overcome that. J. Rod, that's your MVP.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what.
guys, talking about overcoming, there's a man who
Overcoming.
there's a man who overcame an Achilles tendon snap, and it just so happens that he returns. He returned to the what a second seed, third seed when they were projected to be a lottery pick. So let me hear from the two Knicks fans. How do they feel about Mister JT's return, and what do you guys seen from his last two games back?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, look, when JT came back, I was panicking. I'm panicking as a Knicks fan because now you've got two legitimate teams. I know Raf thinks the Cavs are legit, but now it's the Pistons, the Celtics coming after the next year, and I don't feel good about it. He's played fine so far, getting back into the groove. He struggled, like, shooting that first game, couple games. Of course he is, right? Because, you got to get back into it. He has to let the rust off, but I think come playoff time, it's going to be different, and the Celtics are going to be hard, very hard to beat, guys.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. It's what worries me is that he's gonna have such fresh legs heading into the playoffs, and all this wear and tear on the Knicks and all these other teams. Here comes JT basically hitting his stride entering the playoffs, right? Like he's like Matt said, knocking off the rust at the right time. And again, who eliminated them from the playoffs? The Knicks. They remember that, like they remember JT getting hurt. They remember all like they gonna have crazy motivation. So is Detroit. The Knicks have this target painted on them from all these teams, and they're not good enough to have a target. Like it's just because we're a New York team and we are the Knicks and we play in MSG. Everybody's gonna give us our A game, and I don't know if the Knicks can do that for a 7-game series against Boston. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried against Detroit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not excited that JT's back. I'm worried, and I hope we don't have to face him in the playoffs, but we will, and it's gonna be nerve wracking. It definitely is, because if we lose these playoffs, God forbid we get bounced out in the first rounds. Where do we go from here? Like where's the upside? We signed our big star. You know, we had his backup. It didn't work, and we lost, and we had our coach, and we moved on, and it's not going to work. So, it's definitely depressing. It could be depressing times for the Knicks coming up.
I think we have two guys here who are giving way too much credit to a team that hasn't done shit
Interesting.
since 2023. I'm not here to glaze the Celtics, and I'm here to be a realist, how I always am. I get it that they might put fear in your guys' heart, but guys, this is still Jalen Brown's team. And the reason why I say this is because I'm looking at it in the playoffs, and sure, you can talk about that 2023 run, but realistically, guys, a team led by Jalen Brown, because let's be honest, JT's back, but this is not going to be his team until next year again. I don't see it them changing the system at all. They have too many. It's too many. It's too let. No, no, not too many. It's too little games left to actually try to go back into have a Tatum system, because, and this is the reason why I'm not giving them that much respect, because for as much as Jalen Brown's been good this year, in the playoffs, from what we know, except that 2023 run, he has always taken a step back, and he always finds a way to just be the secondary piece to JT. And of course, JT can prove me wrong, and necessarily go off in the playoffs. But I do not see JT returning back to form in this season, in this playoffs. Maybe next year for sure, but I just can't. I just can't give respect right now. No.
So do you
I
not
just,
have confidence? Go ahead, Jay.
no, go, man, go, you good.
So
Hey,
Rob, you don't have
Go ahead,
confidence in.
Blaze the
No,
Celtics. Go ahead.
no, you don't have confidence in. You said this is Jalen Brown's team, so you don't have
Right.
confidence that a Jalen Brown. Well, actually, you've always thought it's a Jalen Brown team, so you don't think a Jalen Brown led team could win the championship?
Absolutely not. No. No.
I
No,
I would have.
but
remind me if I'm wrong, but didn't Jalen Brown lead the Celtics to the chip? Like, wasn't he Finals MVP, or was he?
No, he didn't lead them. He didn't lead them, but yeah, he had a few better games than
but you think
than
that's always been
JT.
you think that's his team? You think he's been better than JT?
I
You've
never
always
said
thought-
that. No,
Yes,
I
you
think that
have.
I thought they were side by side. I think they were side by side. I think it was side by
But
side.
I think what worries me and Matt more is that the Boston Celtics showed this year that they're a good team without JT. Well
Right.
coached, play hard. So bringing back a superstar player, even if he's second or even third fiddle, like he can go off, he can get 30 out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Even and I just think like if he was coming back a week before the playoffs, all right, you got me. The fact that he's gonna have time to build rapport, I know it's not a lot of games and it does take time, but it's not like he's never played with these guys before. He has. He's won chip with most of these guys, you know. So I feel like, and JT's game, he doesn't need to score. You know, he can manage an offense, he can facilitate, he can rebound. So I just think that I'm not gonna I'm I'm
I
not
can't agree with
gonna
that.
I'm gonna kind of give
Fuck
more
JT.
respect to JT in the past than I have.
See, like I don't understand where this hatred for.
It's not even hate, but it's like I just don't like, bro. I remember when Matthew was saying that JT was better than Luca. He's like fourth best player in the world. Hell
Yeah,
no,
he was. Yeah, he was.
he was
Where's
never.
Luca this year? I haven't heard of Raph mention Luca's name at all.
Luca's averaging 35 points. That's where he's at right now. But this is not about him. This is about JT. All I'm saying, guys, is that it's going to be very hard for him to actually come back to form. Meaning that if he doesn't come back to form, the Celtics are going to be trying to pass the ball way too much and have confidence in him that it's just not going to be there. I don't think that he's just there yet. And you guys are going to see.
No, I
guys
think
are-
like Jalen Brown's gonna take the majority of the offensive load.
Jalen Brown's your.
You told me, Jay. You told me they were side by side, and you. So wait. At no point. Let me ask you this. At no point did you ever have Jason Tatum as a top 5 player?
Top 6.
Okay,
Sure.
and you thought Jalen Brown was right there with him. So a
Sure.
top 6 player, top 5 this year,
I'm just
arguably could be
confused
top
if
5
Jalen
MVP
Not
this year.
necessarily.
No,
Like,
Jalen Brown was a top 10 player this year. Sure, top 10 player.
I'll say
Jalen Brown did lead them to the chip, right? He was he was their best player in that finals.
In that final, sure, yeah, that's about it.
But whatever it is, whether he was or wasn't, it's right there with Jason Tatum. So
Sure.
you don't think
No,
plug it
because
in?
he's
Wait a
gonna
minute.
need JT. That's what I'm trying to say. He's gonna need JT, and I just think that JT's not gonna be
They
there.
were the
I don't-
number 2 seed in the East. They were number 2 before JT got there.
Okay, but like you're trying to, bro, stop trying to say like JT's
It's not
gonna come
like-
back to.
That's
ahead.
fine. He may not, but he's
He doesn't
he's
need
better than Derek White was their second best player, and that's not what you want. I think Jason Tatum could be above that. He's replacing who? Sam Hauser
Sure.
in the lineup, in the starting lineup. Is that not an upgrade?
Sure,
For a team
for
that was
sure.
already number 2 in the East.
Yeah, but like this is regular season, guys. I'm talking about playoffs.
Alright,
Like
can you-
these are teams
Raph,
you're
can you
facing
put-
multiple
Can
times.
you go up the standings real quick on the East?
Sure.
Because what are the Celtics right now? They 4 seed,
No, the second.
Second.
second. So
Second.
who would they play in the first round?
The Raptors.
Okay, so I think they can win without JT being a superstar against the Raptors, right? So then who's next? Us, because we're the 4 seed, right?
I listen,
We're
guys.
third.
All
We're
I'm saying,
third.
So we
all I'm saying is that from the top 4 teams, because these are the top 4 teams: Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, and Cavs. I think that all those teams can beat each other. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't think that the Celtics are that godly as you guys are saying. Oh my God!
But you don't think the
Uh,
Celtics are the? Well, no, you don't. You don't think the Celtics are the favorite out of those 4?
I just think it's so even.
Like, if Jason Tatum wasn't there, would you be saying the Celtics are would it
No,
be that
for sure.
close?
Tatum puts him over the top for sure. I see what you're saying, but it's just like
Raph, for the
I just think
record,
in playoff time. I just think in playoff time, it's just like
Raph, the Knicks should beat Boston. Like that, like on paper,
Okay.
they should beat Boston. What me
Okay.
and Matt were saying is that we feel a hell of a lot less confident now that JT's back. Like if we were at a 60% confidence, now at least for me, I'm like at a 30% now that JT's
That's fine.
back. You know, and I think that's where the fear comes from.
that's fine. All right, guys.
Go ahead.
One more topic of the NBA that needs to be talked about. Ah, man.
Are we talking about the Lakers? Oh,
There it is.
there it is. He's my
Wow.
number 4. He's my number 4 MVP candidate, by the way.
Right.
Right.
Let me guess. He's a Hall of Famer too, right?
Hall of Famer for sure.
Oh God. Matthew, let's start with you, bro. What do you think about this performance? Does it sit right with you, or is there a possible asterisk next to this game?
Look,
I'm looking.
this whatever way you want to look at it, Raf, this is an incredible accomplishment. 83 points. He had what, 36 at the end of the first quarter. He had whatever 40 some, 50 some at the end of the first half. It was incredible. And look, up until the end of the third quarter, he got those points legitimately. And then the fourth quarter came and they started fouling and maybe the Wizards were the Wizards would double team and triple team him at times, but they're the Washington Wizards, like Ime Udoka said. And the Heat then, they started fouling. Raf, what's wrong with a little stat padding? Players should be doing this forever. How many times, Raf, did Steve Kerr take out Steph and Clay after they had 60 and 50 way early? Wouldn't Raf have liked to see Steph go for 80, 70, 90 points,
This is
especially
crazy.
shooting threes?
This is insane.
J-Rod, I remember when Carmelo Anthony had 62 points. Took him out early in that fourth, just when he broke the Knicks record, and he could have kept going. He was on a heater like I've never seen.
Never
He
forget.
could have kept going. 80, 90 could have broken that record. Look, is it better than Kobe's performance? No, of course it's not. They were at that performance. Kobe needed every point to win that game. He only shot 20 free throws. Obviously, shooting 43 free throws is crazy. Only made
Thanks.
seven. Only made seven threes. Right. But look, it's still an incredible performance, and I think this leads guys that eventually we will see it soon. That Wilt's, if it did happen or not, Wilt's 100-point game will be broken soon.
So Matt, I wanna give Bam his credit. Scoring 83 points in any game, whether it's professional or not, is incredible. Okay, to put the ball in the basket that many times is an incredible feat. And in the record book, he is the second highest single game scorer. It goes Wilt, Bam, Kobe. Can't change that. It is what it is. And Bam, the player, should have gone after that record. What gives me hesitation is exactly what you mentioned, Matt. There were so many other players who had the opportunity to break it, but because the coaches, for whatever reason, whether it's respect for the team or maybe slight respect for the record itself, they decided to bring out the player and not let him go for it. Credit to Eric Spoelstra, and credit for him being a guy, coach's player, a player's coach, excuse me, and allowing Bam to get that record and encouraging his teammates to allow him to get that record. Was there a bunch of corny shit at the end, like throwing the basketball off the fucking rim and these whack ass calls by the referees and the Wizards basically playing Olay defense where they're basically tackling him and fouling him like crazy just in to get free throws? Yeah. Can't change it. In 10, 15 years, nobody's going to even talk about the fear free throws. They're going to talk about is, hey, this Bam Adebayo has 83 points. So I want to give him that credit, but it's nothing close to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was down when he scored those 81 points. He had to win that game. Every field goal mattered in that game. And he only shot 20 free throws and made 18. I mean, that's not even half of what Bam did. So credit to Bam for getting it. I didn't know he had that in his games. He even get 83. So he may open my eyes a little bit. Kudos to the Heat franchise and the coaching staff to allow him to get that record. But come on, we know as NBA sports fans, it's just like Kevin Durant's championship rings. Yeah, he has them. Yeah, respect for getting them. But let's take it easy, okay? Let's take it easy on Bam Adebayo. And I do agree with you, man. I do think the 100-point record will be broken, and I think it's gonna be broken soon because players knowing that Bam beat Kobe's record, they're gonna want to beat Bam's record right back.
Well said, guys, for sure. First view, I would definitely say, first viewing, I would say that I definitely wasn't pleased with what I saw. I think it was a disgrace to the game with all those amount of free throws. But listen, and Matt, you're gonna be surprised by this. I had to change your heart, bro. I really had to change your heart. Why? Because and this has been going on for the longest, guys. Let's be honest. If a guy has 50 points, 60 points, let's be honest, his team is probably winning by 20 points. And for as much as Kobe did, and for his game, he was down by what, 20. You know, we shouldn't judge the players of how and at what was the score necessarily in that respective game, only because you know amount of a feature like that of now 83, which at first it was 81. If you're at 70 and you have 5 minutes left, why not go for 100? You know what I'm saying? I don't care how. Obviously there's the risk of injury. You have the D Rose situation right there. Not saying that he got that much, but of course, if the game is over, it's over. Go sit down on the bench, avoid injury. But dare to be great. Dare to be great. And to be fair, Bam, he dared to be great, and he got what he needed to do. I definitely agree that the 100-point game will be eventually broken. You know, there's gonna be a player that has like he's gonna have 80 with like 2 minutes left, and he's gonna chuck every three possible. But I definitely had a change of heart with Bam. I definitely think that if I was in this situation, I would have been going even for 90 or 100.
Yep.
You know, but it's just this guys. The thing about sports and why I love it so much is that it's all about context and it's all about your views, and how your POV. If you were a Kobe fan, you're probably saying this. You're probably hating very much on him, Bam, and saying all the 40 free throws and how he got it. But in all honesty, let's be honest. I think that every basketball fan should look at it like this: if you were in Bam's shoes right now, you'd be doing the same thing,
Yep.
same exact thing.
Yep.
Matthew
Yeah,
would have
we
been
see
chucking
it.
from half court.
Of course, and we see this all the time, guys. In every sport, in the
Yes,
NFL, we
you
see
got to chase
running backs to
history.
try to get records. You got to go after Raf when Otani had his 50-50 game, his
Yeah,
last home
Yes.
run, the 3 homer attempt, whatever, against a position player. Like
bro.
Yeah.
they were already up by a bunch,
Think about how
but it didn't
blessed.
matter. They still called it the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
It
Think
is
about
what
how
it
blessed
is.
we are as sports fans, man. We got to see LeBron James break the all-time record. We got to see, at least I got to see Kobe Bryant do 81, and then to see him get break by Bam. Like story, like sports about history and
You
moments.
were
Like
there, right, J Rod? You were
I
there.
was live in
Yeah,
action.
me,
I was like,
yeah, me and Matt weren't even born yet. But yeah,
oh,
bro.
take it easy, bro. Take it easy. But yeah. So exactly. Think about all the endorsement deals Bam's gonna get. Think about all the commercials. Think about all the t-shirts and sweaters and they already have 83 jerseys with Bam's name on the back. You know what I mean? So like, of course Bam's gonna go for it. Hell yeah, you're a basketball player. You in the NBA. Like you a dog. Like you. I'm supposed to score. So I don't. And
Someone
again,
said, someone said JT would have stayed at 80 points and uh, he would have benched himself. I did it for Kobe.
yeah, bro. But yeah, so I do think it kind of takes the mystique out of the league a little bit, and I blame the refs and I blame Washington. I don't blame Bam and I don't blame Miami because again, like you said, Raf, any one of us in that position, we got 55 going into half. Oh, I can get another 55 heading into the second half. You know what I mean? Like that's just the mindset you have to have being a ball player. You have to have that mindset.
And how are you gonna remember it? Like, let's be honest. Before this, are we sure that Bam would have been remembered 50 years from now?
That's what
No,
I'm saying, bro. Like you
no.
definitely remember him now. You
Matthew's
definitely
kid's gonna be known. Matthew's kid's gonna know him like, and your nephews are gonna know him like, oh yeah, the guy who passed Kobe. Yes, that's him.
yeah, yeah.
They're gonna be shooting Bam, not Kobe.
Bam.
Bam.
That's it, bro. Like
From the free
bam.
throw line, that's it. When we shoot for caps, that's it. I'm saying
That's
bam.
it. I better not hear you shoot something in the garbage. I don't better not hear Kobe at all. I better hear Bam, bro.
Bam. On the bayou.
Yeah.
On the bayou.
Lovely guys, lovely.
Shit, man. Man.
So guys,
Yes, sir.
it is time to pivot from another sport to another sport. I mean, sorry,
Yes, sir.
and that sport is our lovely baseball now.
I think this is way more exciting than the regular season, by the way.
Hold on.
Go ahead, play it for us.
As it loads, guys, let me give some context real quick. So yeah, baseball classic has officially gone to the quarterfinals now. Now we have 8 teams remaining. We have Japan versus Venezuela. We have Italy versus Los Boricuas, Puerto Rico. We have Dominican versus South Korea, and we also have the rematch of hockey, the Olympics of hockey. We have Estados Unidos, United States versus Canadá. Como dice Bad Bunny, Canadá. Guys, it was an electric couple of days. And this is just so much. Oh my God, look at that golly home run by the greatest player in the game right now. But yeah, guys,
Look how hyped they are, bro.
this just shows that there's MLB should be taking so much advantage of this, guys. The energy that this brings, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit. But guys, how do you guys feel about the energy? Look at the crowd, guys. Look at that.
Beautiful,
How do you guys
beautiful.
feel of the energy and and the eyeballs that it's bringing to the game? I'll start with, I'll start with Jay. I'll start with Jay.
Yeah, bro. Watching this, it reminds me of like why people love the World Cup so much because there's
Yeah.
just something about having the whole world involved into the sport. You know what I mean? And it's showing how yeah, America like baseball is America's sport, but it is a passion that's shared across the world, and just it makes me upset being a U.S. fan because it seems like no matter what sport it is, whether it's baseball or soccer or wrestling, bro, it just seems like the crowds overseas or not in America are just so much better. You know what I mean? And I think adding this World Classic as a World Cup scenario is really good for the game of baseball. It makes people it makes like these fantasy teams that you never dream about, you know what I mean, team up for their country. It makes people want to cheer for who represents them, you know what I mean? Like seeing PR go at it and see those bomb home runs and seeing how Puerto Rico's reacting, how the team is thanking the fans for their participation in these games. Like it's amazing to watch, honestly. It's actually inspiring low key. So having seen this passion come for the world is amazing. I will say this though, USA, you need to show a little more passion for your sport, okay? Cause oh my God, the fact that the manager did not know the process of this World Classic needs to be studied, bro. Okay, I understand it's a little confusing, with the point system and the pool and stuff like that. That's not my problem. You are the manager of Team USA. This is America's pastime, and you almost get eliminated. You almost get eliminated. You don't even make it to the next round. How embarrassing that would have been. Again, people are saying that U.S. baseball is not taking it seriously. Well, you should take it seriously. This is being watched by the world, and you need to represent a little bit better. So I'm glad they got it past the second. I'm glad they got past the pool. I'm glad they have a chance to redeem themselves. I think, and you guys speak on this. I think every team that was supposed to make it past the pool made it. I don't know about Mexico. You guys can teach me a little more about that. But I'm excited to watch. Italy versus Puerto Rico is going to be electric, especially Italy's been hot lately. So let's see if PR can get over it. Um, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, J. Rod. The energy's been incredible. Um, right on just in every stadium that they've been in, it's been incredible. Getting it to back to Puerto Rico to have the pool play there, first time in 13 years, that was great. And PR winning the pool there or coming in second there. It's just been incredible, and the Caribbean guys are incredible. All the Latin American countries have been incredible. In the Tokyo Dome Raf, right? That guy that's an electrician or whatever over there. I got a standing ovation from whichever team that was. It's just an incredible atmosphere, and it's like it's our Olympics, it's our
Yeah.
World Cup, and it's incredible to see everybody coming together, right? No violence, just we're here, we're supporting our country, we're rooting for our teams, and that's it. And it's an incredible thing that it happens every 3 4 years. It's just great to see.
Yeah, absolutely well said, guys. It's just about the eyeballs that it really brings to the sport because let's be honest, I feel like baseball is always the one from the big four that kind of gets looked down upon, especially how many games we play during the year. It just shows that, and it also shows that how much players would actually try when they're playing for their own country. It just shows that, and it also goes for soccer because a lot of players play better even when they're like playing representing their country. So very much fun, and this is exactly what the sport needs. Um, but yeah, let's talk about
Real quick before we move on, I want to ask you
yeah.
guys a question as the baseball guys. Do you think there is a world where this becomes bigger than the pennant? Where winning the World Classic is more important than winning a championship in the MLB?
That's a great question because let's be honest, Messi didn't become the GOAT or solidified GOAT before he won the World Cup.
Right.
So I get what you're saying. However, I think that based on where they're at right now, meaning that they playing it in springtime, meaning that all the guys are like still like rusty and like you're not 100% at your peak where in the season's at. I
Mhm.
think you can't put it there. But I did see a great thing that they did. Oh, sorry, it's someone that he's like a I think a commentator or something. He said that we should do it like this. You play in March, right? And you get your final eight, like there is right now, the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah.
You don't play these final eight until All Star Weekend. So that means you have the prospects game, then you have the home run derby, and then you have the All Star game. After that, you play these last games for like 1 week, and then you give the players like 4 or 5 days off, and then you continue the season on like that, every 4 years. Just a thought.
That's what they do for the World Cup. They pause the
Yes.
Premier League and then
I
they
would do that.
yeah
That's fire in my opinion. That's very fire in my opinion.
yeah
Only
that,
thing is, it does risk. It does risk. The amount of time they're gonna play, especially like if there's a team that is playing in the cold, like a New York team. It's gonna get much colder in November.
right.
But I think that it just brings so much more eyeballs. And Matt, I know you're a traditionalist, Matt. You're old soul and a young body. But Matt, you have to really think about it like this: that the NBA is adapting, football's adapting. Clearly, I think it's time for us to adapt too. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but I think this is fine the way it is. I don't. If you play it in the middle of the season, I mean, right? Like the All Star break is supposed to be a break, right? You do the Derby, which is just swinging, and you play the All Star game, fine. But like to have a whole tournament, look how much it means to these guys. You'd rather do that before the season, so that you're just focusing on the season instead of letting out so much energy there when you're supposed to be on a break. I mean, and head into the second half of the season for playoffs for some teams. I don't. I think it's fine the way it is.
Matt, do you think it'll get bigger than the pennant?
I think for some guys it does mean more. Rob, you saw Kike Hernandez saying, this means more to me, even though he's not playing for Puerto Rico this year. Like this means more to me than winning the World Series. Like he gets to play in front of his fans and play for his country or his nationality, whatever, right? Like it's important to these guys. So for some guys, it is. I think it's all up to their personal preference there.
I'm excited, man. Listen, this is exciting baseball. I like watching this.
I see what you're saying though, Matt. I definitely see what you're saying. I just think that personally, I would like to see it in the middle of the season for sure. But however, guys, since you guys are Boricua, but you guys did pick Team USA to win, they nearly got eliminated, guys.
Yep.
If Mexico and Italy, behind the scenes, they would have talked. All you needed was Mexico to win 4-0, 4-3, 4-2, and they would have gone. But how do you guys feel that United States nearly lost and nearly got eliminated? And do they carry this chip on their shoulder now, or do they crumble under pressure? What do you guys think? How far do they go?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I think this was good, honestly, for them. I think this was a little bit of a wake up call. I think they went in obviously with a lot of confidence, a lot of all stars on that team, a lot of MVPs. These are great players and all that, but even the thought of, oh my God, could USA get eliminated and by some crazy scenario? I think it's a wake up call. I think they actually are gonna crush Canada. When is it? Tomorrow. I think they're gonna crush Canada tomorrow. I think this was a good wake up call for them, and I think they'll get back to form.
Yeah, I hope they do. I think after the whole manager situation, I think they kind of got clowned a little bit on the internet. They might have embarrassed them. So think that when they meet Canada, they cannot lose that game. I don't think they will. So I think that they kind of lucked out a little bit, and they can prove that they're still a top dog in this tournament. And I think that if they show that they're taking this seriously, because right now there's a narrative out there that they're just not like this is like whatever, this is not our World Series. They need to change that because the world is watching, and if you're, it's like you're England losing to the U.S. in the World Cup. That that shit would be talked about all over the. We would not shut the f up about it. United States. When we beat Canada in the Olympics in hockey, and we're talking so much shit about it. So if Canada beats us in a baseball game, oh my god, I can't even imagine, bro. Not to mention Toronto was in the World Series this year, so that's that'll be another shit to talk about. So yeah, but I do think USA will bounce back, and I think they'll have a great showing out tomorrow.
Okay. All right, guys. Team Dominican República, La República Dominicana. They're having an insane run so far. How far do you guys think they're gonna go, given that they're on the same side of the bracket as the United States of America? Matt Rod, you can go first. Se puede.
Well, yep, DR has been playing great. I was very intrigued in that game last night, seeing if they could beat Venezuela or not. And they did. It came down to the wire there. But now they have an easy matchup there against Korea. I'm sure they'll win that easily. And then I'm gonna say they'll face USA and they'll lose. I'm gonna say they're gonna lose. That's just my prediction there. But they've been playing great so far. We'll say that.
So I'm gonna go the opposite. I think they blow Korea out the water, but I think if DR and US were to meet, I think US is losing. I think DR is just on fire right now. I think they're taking on the heavy hitters and they're knocking them down. So, and again, the United States has shown they can like listen, in baseball, anything can happen. It's one game. Somebody gets a hot bat, they can take over a game. But DR has just been showing they've been dominating teams, and US almost got eliminated. I'm not saying US can't win, that they don't have a chance, but if you have them to win pick, I'm picking DR. And I think DR goes all the way and wins the whole thing.
Well, Jay took the words out of my mouth, it seems, but yeah, I think that this lineup is too inevitable. There's just too many guys that could break the game open. You have guys like Austin Wells and Gerardo Perdomo who are just not producing, but even when they do produce, it's just like, oh yeah, it's over. If the two worst guys in your lineup are doing good, yeah, in this lineup, it's not a good sign for you. All due respect to South Korea, they did lose 2 games in that pool and somehow made it to this quarterfinals. So respect to them, but you know, yeah, no, it's just there's no shot. I definitely want United States. For as much as I'm going to be rooting for Canada, I want this road to the championship game for DR to be as hard as possible, and I don't want to face Canada. That's whack. That's what the view is going to be down. I want as many eyeballs to see that the Dominican Republic is the best in the world, and I definitely want to see Paul Skeens, because Matt, I don't know if you saw, but Paul Skeens will be lined up to face DR, and he will have a 95 pitch what's it called, limit.
Yeah.
So that's must see TV for sure. How far they go, I think that they're gonna go all the way. I think that they're gonna beat Korea. I think they beat United States, and whether Venezuela beats Japan would be a nice rematch for what we're seeing right now. But I think inevitable it's gonna be DR versus Japan. Would not be surprised if Otani brings out his glove and actually pitches an inning like he did last time, Matt, if you remember, against Trout.
Oh.
But I think DR takes it all the way. I just think that the energy is too much there. It's giving me vibes of 2013 when everyone was playing as a team, as a family. And I think that when you have a team that when we have a team that you guys have each other's backs, it's just hard to be beaten. But we did talk about, I don't know if you guys seen Godzilla, but King Ghidorah. There's the three-headed dragon. We've talked about United States, talked about DR. Tony Bright to talk about Team Japan.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys think that they run it back and possibly win it all again?
Well, Japan, They're like a sleeper here for some reason, right? Everybody's talking about US and everybody's talking about DR, but not much talk of Japan, and I think they should be talked about more because I think they probably will be in the championship. You know, obviously I have hope that Puerto Rico can do some magic here, but chances are slim. J. Ron don't have a lot of our top guys. They keep denying us insurance. I don't know what's going on. Right, we're playing Italy on Saturday. It was come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, and but you know, who knows? Maybe Venezuela can beat Japan, but I think Japan is slept on a little bit. If I had to pick now, I would say Japan does go to the final.
Yeah.
I think Venezuela is slept on more than Japan. I think that Venezuela has a chance to beat Japan actually.
They do, they do, they do.
Yeah, it seems like that side of the bracket, it's like all the people that nobody like really thinks, like Italy, PR, Japan, Venezuela. Like it's like those teams like actually been playing, at least from what I've been seeing, more impressively that they people thought. Like nobody would expect this from Puerto Rico, nobody expect this, especially from Italy. Like where did fucking Italy come from? So I think that, but like again, like just seeing how dominant Japan is, I just think that you know having the best player again on your team is a huge bonus. And I just think that again, like Japan they just have great players, bro. Like they just do, and I just think they can get hot. And I'm gonna just take Japan to go all the way against DR.
Yeah. Call me crazy, guys, but I think the Venezuela versus Japan game is much closer than what it seems. I just think that Venezuela got outmatched yesterday because let's be honest, Matt, that game should have been 7-3, not 7-5.
What do you
And
mean? I mean, you guys choked it. You guys are choking it away.
I
That's
mean, he
just what
threw it.
happened.
He threw it. That is not. No, that is not what happens. No, that is
That's
not
what.
what
Well,
happens.
that's what pitchers do. That's how many times have you seen a pitcher
When,
do that? They just throw it away
when,
all the time. All the time. They can't
stop this
field.
nonsense. Stop this nonsense. I think that the Venezuela game, like I'm basically saying that it's closer than what we think. I would not be surprised if Venezuela does end up beating Japan, but giving respect to what they always bring to every tournament, Japan is always a beast in every tournament. They look like Godzilla, no pun intended. But yeah, definitely Japan. I see them in the finals. I'll say that.
Any no chance for PR Rod? No chance to beat Italy? Anything?
If Lindor, Correa, and Javi and Kike can all come back right now, then yeah. But I don't think a power of friendship is gonna beat Godzilla. Like
Off camera, you guys are gonna have to explain to me how we get so hold like that. Like it doesn't make any like that's one thing that's gonna have to change if we make this an important event going forward. We got to we have to have the best players for each country slash region slash state whatever. You got to make sure that they have their best players available because what the fuck, bro? Like
yeah,
I see Juan Soto in the Dominican team, and yet we don't got nobody on our side. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Tell that to Cuba, who's been playing with jobbers since 2009. They've been playing with nobody because they don't let them play J Rod.
Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous.
All right, guys. The last topic of the night. Here
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
This is those shit that gets the most traction on this channel. I'm not gonna lie. It's always this. It's always these talks.
Guys,
Great picture. That's a great picture.
guys. You know what? Let's start with a Cody segment real quick. You know, back last week we talked about how much of a Hogan guy is Cody Rhodes, and I don't even want to see J Rod's face, but let's be honest, Cody's been more pushed and more forced in our mouths than Roman Reigns at this point.
Okay. Paul.
More than Roman Reigns, and we know it. Let's be honest, guys. It's not nonsense at all because I really think about it every single time now. They give him the Rumble, and they give him the Rumble again. They gave him the title, and then he lost to Cena, but then he got it back in SummerSlam, and then he loses the Chamber only to. I've never wait. Wow, can you remember the last time someone's lost the Chamber and the same following Friday gets a championship match?
I'm not sure I've seen it.
I remember when Roman Reigns walked out after a match was finished and signed a contract for a Universal Championship ring and walked it and pinned the person.
That's
I remember when
Oh,
Roman
stop
Reigns
it.
presented 9
Oh.
WrestleManias in a row. I remember that. And the nonsense that's coming out of your mouth talking about how Cody Rhodes is overpushed is
He's not.
so false. Is ridiculous. You said more than Roman Reigns.
Yes,
That is false. That is so false.
guys.
Who's
for the-
for
for the-
the show this WrestleMania?
For the following viewers that are gonna watch this clip, guys, please in the comments, please tell us who is more pushed or more overly pushed, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. This is not even. How is this even a question? Roman Reigns is closing this year's WrestleMania. It was he won this year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but rightfully so. Rightfully.
That's
there's a
what I'm
difference between-
saying.
There's a difference between overly pushed and rightfully pushed. J.
That
Rod.
doesn't.
Roman
Whether it's
Reigns
whether
is
it's right or
rightfully
wrong,
pushed.
Whether it's right or wrong, he's still being pushed. It doesn't matter.
No, but it's like one is like you gotta understand it. Even if you hate it, you gotta understand it. I don't understand Cody getting pushed like this, bro. I'm sorry, I do not see it.
Getting
I do
pushed-
not see it.
Getting pushed how? He's the second main event. He's the second
What
main
do you
event.
mean
He's fighting
how?
Wait a minute. So wait. We don't want Randy versus Cody anymore.
I don't care about that story no more. I'll be honest, I don't care about that story no more.
We
I
haven't
do
even
not care
wait.
about.
But to the defense.
No,
we
Matthew,
haven't-
no,
we-
no,
wait a
Matt,
minute.
no,
To the
no,
defense,
bro.
we haven't seen it. We saw it at the Night of Champions match. That no story. It's just
Randy
just a
has
match.
one. Randy has one.
This
last
is a
year-
story? Okay,
They're
Matthew. Tell
They're
me the
gonna
story. Tell me the
start
story.
on Friday. Cody Rhodes was Randy Orton's like understudy. It was his guy. He
Wait,
learned under him.
Wait,
He learned everything
guys,
from him.
wait. I'm not. No, I'm not. I let you guys get past a lot of stuff. I'm not letting you guys get past this.
Wait a
Hell
minute.
no. Hell no. First of all, guys, I'm not saying there's no story there. However, the story right now is that Randy RKO'd him in the Elimination Chamber. That's the only story right now.
No, but
They're not.
Bro,
Okay,
they're gonna
say
bring in
it.
his old shit. They're gonna bring in
They're
the fact that
gonna
he's part of
talk.
Legacy.
They're gonna start on Friday. They're gonna build promos.
What?
do you
Okay,
mean?
okay. What's the promo? Okay, tell me what's the promo. How's the promo gonna look like? Tell me.
Randy was his mentor. Okay.
It's
Randy
the same
brought
thing
him
with
into the
Punk
company.
and Roman. It's the same thing with Punk and Roman. There's a lot of history there that go back 10
Yeah.
years,
What-
10,
what was
15
the-
years.
No,
What was the
bro.
sto-
Whoa,
what was
whoa,
the
whoa!
story-
What do you mean? No.
Matt, you're
Cody-
pissing me off, Matt. Because
Well,
I
no,
thought
no,
you
no.
were my side. I thought you were my
Yeah,
side,
but-
but not. You're pissing
All
me
right,
off, bro.
No. WWE had no choice here because they need to sell tickets, and who
And
else
that's why
is gonna
Roman
make-
Reigns. Roman Reigns,
And,
yes.
okay,
Roman
so
Reigns.
who else is look? And unfortunately, I like Drew too, but was he gonna main event night of one of WrestleMania? Is
No.
that box office? Unfortunately, it's not because WWE is scared to push anybody new into that spotlight. So it had to be Cody and Randy. There's story. Both main events have story, Rav. We'll see it on Friday. Hopefully, they'll interact with each other. There's story there. Well, you knew right away, Roman and Punk, there was gonna be story because there's history there. There's only a few matches left in this company with these old guys that have story.
Right.
This is one of them.
Who else is Randy gonna go after? Randy and Drew, they already did that. That's not. There's no story there. There's nothing going on there.
This is
The only
just,
other thing they could have done was a multi-man match. That's the only other thing they could have done.
Rav, would you have rather a multi-man match?
yes. Yeah. For
But
night
think
one,
about
like we
this,
did
think
last
about
year.
This, think about this. If you do a multi-man match, like that's all SmackDown has. That's all they have. You're putting all your eggs into one basket there. That's it. Just the four
Okay.
guys, and there's nothing else there. Now you
Yeah.
get to separate it. You go do Drew and Jacob. You know,
Yikes.
I get it. Unfortunately for Drew, you know,
Yikes.
but
It's
yeah,
it's
you
one
gotta
thing to say
make
you-
matches.
It's one thing to say the match won't be good. The fact is that you said there's no story there, like they
Bro, the match is gonna be good, but I'm trying to say is like there's no story. Like Randy hasn't turned heel, bro. Like I feel like for there to be a story, there has to be a heel, bro.
We
These are just two
started.
good
We
guys.
have a whole month left. They
Is
haven't even
Roman
had
and
the
Punk
first
who's the
month left.
heel? And Roman and Punk who's the heel? Is Roman?
Bro,
a
let's be
heel?
honest. They're two anti-heroes, bro. I've been telling you for the
Here we
longest. They're
go
two
with this
anti.
anti-heroes, bro. If I have to hear Raph say this word one more time,
Raph,
Bro, you
They're
know
both-
it, bro.
Roman is the heel. Roman is a gaslighter.
no, I disagree with that. I don't know if Roman's the heel. Roman's the heel in the set. Roman really, to be honest, guys, and I don't understand it either. Roman hasn't changed since he lost. Like his personality is still the same, and yet, but the only difference is that he was cheered as opposed to being booed or whatever. I don't understand why all of a sudden he's cheered now, Raf. Why didn't they cheer when we wanted him to win over Cody? But I don't get that.
You got clowns like J Rod
I
on
don't
Twitter
understand
saying
it.
they
He's the
want
same
Cody.
character. He's the
only
same
two
character.
clowns, the only two clowns I see are those Usos who marched to the ring and asked for an apology from CM Punk when they
Yeah.
never got one from their own fucking cousin. Okay.
All
This-
right.
This like bubble that Roman's in of like, yeah, he does nothing wrong. He talks shit about Cody's dad, who's dead, by the way. Okay, nobody cared. Oh, that's just Roman being Roman. He's just
Wait, I think Cody Rhodes literally said that his grandfather would be ashamed of him. That's talking shit.
Yeah, and
That's
he probably
talking
would.
shit.
He's an asshole. Okay.
Oh, but when Roman says his dad's irrelevant, oh, it's a problem now. It's a problem.
Yeah, we're fighting fire with fire, right? Listen, what I'm saying is that Dustin Rhodes didn't come down. Goldust didn't come down and demand an apology from Roman Reigns. That's what I'm saying. You got these two clowns freaking out over nothing, okay?
Yeah,
While
that's
their
because
cousin is sitting
Dustin
in
Rhodes wishes he was the Usos. That's why. Dustin Rhodes wishes he was. Dustin Rhodes wishes he was.
Let's
Jey-
not sidetrack.
Oh.
Let me not sidetrack. No. Let me. I'm bro. Hold on, bro. We're talking about that segment. That's our last segment. That's our last segment. Wait.
Oh, I
bro.
actually have a segment after that, but
Okay, cool,
just
cool.
to top wrap off there.
Hey. Yo.
Whoa.
Wait. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean, bro? Wait.
Yo.
Hey, yo, bro. Time out, gang.
Oh shit! What are you saying?
But
bro?
anyways,
What nonsense are you saying, bro?
bro, all I'm trying to say, realistically, Jay and Matt, is that I just feel that this story is just like not there. Like my interest level is like a 4 out of 10. I like both guys. For as much as like I hate Cody, but I know that this match is gonna be great. The match, how I think it's gonna be in the match is gonna be a good match. However, I just think that there needs to be a heel. There needs to be a moment that one of them has to show that they want the title more.
I'm
Okay,
sure
but
Randy will do that on Friday. I'm sure it's gonna be Randy that does
I
it on
think
Friday.
I don't think I think they're gonna be respectful for each other until Mania. That's how I see it. That's
Yeah.
fucking whack.
Can I ask you
That's
what-
whack.
Can I ask you what
That's
happened?
whack.
When Cena did what he did to CM Punk last year, right? Did we think he was a heel right then and there?
When when
I feel laughing at that.
I tried locking in, bro, I couldn't, bro.
Oh shit. When Cena did that to Punk last year in the Chamber, did we think he was a heel automatically?
Yeah, you guys were like, "Oh my God, he's turning heel." Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I said that, and that's what I'm saying. Randy did the same thing. I think Randy's ready heel, bro. Like he already showed that. He's
I don't think he's a heel. I think he's just a guy that okay, great point. Now I see what you're trying to say, that you gotta do what's necessary to win.
right.
He did that. Okay. But I just think that they're gonna be respecting each other back and forth. Just say, "Oh, I respect you. We have history. Blah blah blah. We have a story, and you've always been my mentor." Until WrestleMania, Randy's gonna win
But
because he's gonna like punk
I think
kick him.
I think it starts off like that, but maybe they kind of eventually one of them says a line there that's like, "Whoa," and then they start kind of going at each other a little bit more. Then they start bringing up old stuff. Then they, I think you'll eventually get there.
I think Raph, and I don't. Maybe you won't like this, but I think what's gonna happen is that I think they're going, like Matt said, they're gonna have promos back. Matt, I can't even look at Matt seriously. He's smiling. I think that they're gonna build up to the Mania, and they're gonna have like a couple like tension programs, but it's not gonna be face or heel. It's gonna be face and face. I think that when Randy gets in the match, I think he's gonna punt Cody Rhodes in the head.
I think that's how Randy wins. I think that's how he wins.
He turns heel. I think that's gonna be his official heel turn. But I mean, like, the story's definitely there.
Okay.
That's it. Segment over, Matt, keep it together.
All right, guys. So as we see in the picture right here, as Jay called them, clown Usos. I don't think they're clowns. I think they did the right thing. They went to the ring, and they want an apology from Mr. Phil. And Phil didn't give it to them. He instead apologized to them because Roman never apologized to them. And it ended up being Jay was like, okay, this is the problem here. This is why I knew you were never going to apologize in the first place. You only care about yourself. And what do you guys think about this?
So I think story wise, it's OD interesting because not having Roman there is the show is definitely gonna suffer. So having the Usos come in that spot and kind of add fuel to the fire is very interesting. I just don't know where they go. Like, are the Usos gonna get involved in the match? I don't think so. Like, that's dumb. That's whack. Who helps CM Punk? Is this the transition for CM Punk turning heel and maybe having the Vision on his side with Austin Theory and Logan Paul? Because we want that heel run with CM Punk and maybe joining with Paul Heyman again and becoming that hypocrite finally. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way CM Punk can turn heel. The one thing CM Punk has is that he's always speaking honesty. Phil can only turn heel if he's like a hypocrite, just like he claims everybody else is. So,
a hypocrite for Heyman or a hypocrite for the final boss?
I
Here
hope
we
it's the
go, man.
Rap, me
Here we
or right
go.
there. We're manifesting this, but I think it's more Paul Heyman, if that's the case. But I like what it adds to it, but in story in kayfabe, the Usos are fucking stupid. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're fighting for a guy.
No, what do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
But but even they said this is not about Roman. This is about you disrespecting family. This is about you disrespecting Roman's father. This is different.
I think Roman Reigns tried to kill the Usos one time, if I'm not mistaken. And these motherfuckers are coming out talking about.
I understand that, but this is about family history before these guys. That's a different level of respect than the
He was
current.
raised by the Wild Samoans, how he was training there and watching their kids during the shows. He's basically.
So then you shouldn't have disrespected. You shouldn't have disrespected him.
Okay, well, let's talk about it for a second. He said, "I'm gonna bury you next to your dad." How disrespectful is that, really? Okay, he just said he's gonna bury him. That's it. Like, it's not that much disrespect, but okay, look, it's a little disrespectful. If somebody said that to me, I might have flipped out. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disrespectful. But
Okay.
I'm just saying, I think that in kayfabe, the Usos coming out, I think they got so upset because CM Punk was spitting some facts on them about how Roman Reigns never apologized to them, how Roman Reigns is just as disrespectful to everybody else's family, and they don't demand nothing else. So, in that term, making them hypocrites, and I think that's why they got mad and punched CM Punk in the face. I see the point of helping Roman Reigns, but it's like kind of like mind your business a little bit because I don't see you getting involved in this match.
I think both of them made good points. And I like that the Usos were serious here. I think both of them made good points.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't think wait, this could what if this leads to something, guys?
Like
If,
what?
like I don't know, what if like on a certain Monday Night Raw that we may or may not be attending, what if we get a little 6-man tag match? I don't know. Maybe we get a little something.
Who would be the?
I don't know. That's the thing, Jay. I don't know. You were mentioning Punk, and does he have to? But who? I don't know who would come and help him there.
I will say it's very interesting because I don't know if the Usos. I think the Usos are planning to face the Vision at Mania, right?
Yeah.
So why involve yourself in this segment? Like they have to do something next week, right? They can't just
You have
leave
to.
this floating.
Yeah.
So
No,
I don't know.
I like this segment.
Roman's gonna be on the show next week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I definitely like this segment for sure. I think that it kind of adds like a level of interest. Like, oh, are the Usos honestly going to get involved with this match as well? And that's kind of like tiring because I want a clean match versus Punk versus Roman. But it does add that factor of like if Roman gets help from the Usos, who comes to help Punk? And
Oh my
maybe we
God!
do get.
What if Raph is right? What if Raph is right, Jay? I don't know. What if the Usos come
What-
to help
Yo,
him?
bro,
So
that would be
the final
crazy, bro.
boss.
And
Yo, see
it-
now I'm intrigued.
It could also be possible that Roman just comes out next week and he's like, "Hey, Usos, stay out of it. Like, I need to do this by myself. I need to shut this guy up by myself." It could be possible that it's just a weak segment. He's just like, "Stay out of it. Handle your business."
I think Punk tries to get in his head, like, oh, are you gonna are your cousins actually gonna help you this time again?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something like that. But yeah, Matt, what's your last segment of the night? What do you want to talk about?
No, just a quick thing here. I don't know if you guys saw this little report here about one Brock Lesnar.
I sure did.
That Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman have reportedly communicated to WWE Creative that Lesnar should not lose a match until his retirement. Then a report came out the day after that Oba and Brock looks like it's gonna be the match. So J Rod, what do you think? Is this about this report? Both of these, is this true?
So that I think there's always fire when there's smoke, right? Like there's like what nobody's gonna just drop this into the internet, into the ether, and not have a reason for it, right? Um, so I do believe that the next match that Brock loses, he will retire. Now, does that necessarily mean that the next match he loses against Obafemi? That doesn't mean that, you know? And that's what worries me. Because you should not be facing Obafemi if you're going to win. That cannot happen. You would literally kill this young person's career before he can even get started. And I hope, and I don't have a lot of hope, because Triple H has not given me any reason to be hopeful. I hope he doesn't go through with this because it's just again like it's just Brock is great. Like Brock is great for the whatever people have their opinion on Brock Lesnar. He is great for WWE. Every time he comes out, every time his guitar riff hits, he gets a pop, bro. So I'm not trying to push Brock Lesnar out the door, but there's just certain things that you have to be careful when you book characters. And I'm just afraid that Brock Lesnar's not retiring in a month. I mean, look at this freak. Is that a guy who's retiring in a month? I don't think so.
It's the guy who's on the juice, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, so I think like, so I hope that Obafemi's not his WrestleMania opponent now, but it looks like that's what's in the works.
I think it's horse hockey bullshit. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I think Brock's at the time that he should be giving back to talent, not trying to get over talent. He's too old to be over talent, bro. And I think that he should be losing to Obafemi in WrestleMania. And no title run either, clown. By the way, no title run at all.
This was the best thing I've seen all week, guys. This was the best thing I've seen all week. You want to build
Gino, signing with the Jets?
Yeah, way better than Geno Smith. Guys, I'm not sure what's left here, but Brock Lesnar is what's left here. And there will be one Brock Lesnar in wrestling ever. Raph already tried to crown Braun Breaker the next Brock Lesnar 2 years ago. How's that working out for you, buddy? And now he's trying to say Oba's the next Brock and blah, blah, blah. I totally agree with Brock and Mr. Heyman. Brock should not lose another match until his retirement.
Mr. Heyman, oh my God.
If Brock is going to retire at SummerSlam, fine. If he's going to retire next year in Saudi, whatever. Whenever it comes, Brock should not lose another match because whoever retires him, then that's a massive push. That's a massive push. If Brock is losing these matches left and right, and let's say he doesn't retire this year, because I feel like he's not going to retire this year. He's going to get a big payday in Saudi next year. I'm sure they want him over there for WrestleMania. If he keeps losing all these matches, well, then what's the point of retiring him? It's like, oh, well, he's lost every time.
I agree with you, Matt. Like, I don't think he should lose. I just don't think Obafemi should be his WrestleMania opponent. Like, pick somebody else. I would rather.
Who should it be? LA Knight?
At this
Seth
point,
Rollins?
At this point, bro, like LA Knight is a beaten dog, so you might as well just pile on top of him. Like, I would rather Seth lose. I'd rather LA Knight lose. I'd rather Gunther lose to Brock.
You'd rather Gunther lose?
Oh my, because bro, because remember, Gunther has the loss to Sami Zayn, so he kind of has that. He kind of has that little thing on him. Obafemi is a beast, bro. Obafemi is he hasn't been tampered with yet.
He's the next big
See,
thing.
here we
Right,
go,
bro.
trying to crown too early. Like, what are we doing?
But we're trying to crown too early. But if you have him lose to Brock, then that crown is knocked down the trash chute, bro. Like it's
Look,
not coming back.
I think the match should be with Seth Rollins. If it is with Oba though, and Brock doesn't want to, if Brock doesn't want to lose, then maybe they're like, what if we get like a double count out, no contest type of thing, which would be awful.
That'd be
I
so.
mean, we're
suck.
watching that match in all excitement, and then we get a double count out. That's
It's like when we got Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes, and then the fucking end of the disqualification.
Yep. Just like I hope that's not the case, or if but I think this is the right way to go about it, Raph. And Raph, tell me this: who's gonna tell him no? Can you tell me who's telling him no? Is Triple H and his pacemaker gonna tell him no?
Oh my god, not the pacemaker.
I don't
Oh
know.
my god. No, I agree. Brock shouldn't lose, but it shouldn't be against Oba. That it should be give Seth, give LA Knight, fucking have Danhausen curse him before the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania match. You know what I mean?
I would love to see Brock as a jobber to end his career.
You see?
Oh man. All right, boys. That's another podcast in the books. Well done, everybody. Next week. Will we have a classic champion by the time we do the next podcast?
We will.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we have that going on for us. More NBA talk next week. Another week of wrestling. Hopefully, we'll see some build up to this Friday night coming up. And yeah, we'll catch y'all next week.
All right. See ya.
Later, everybody.